When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have, well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office. Hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for sure.
He sure did.
My humble opinion, because I want to hear myself a little bit louder because I can't. If you're just a body language reading person, guys, do you believe, like, remember the vigor of how she was like, yeah, and we're gonna get everybody. It kind of seems a little bit downplayed right now. Like, this list has been sitting there. And by the way, I don't want to know the victims' names. I don't want to see any of the victims. I want the names of the people that flew to that pedophile island. And guess what? In correlation to...
Hey, today we're gonna do this quick reaction video about the whole Epstein. You know what I'm saying? This situation is getting ridiculous. You know, it's almost like it's so hilarious. I mean, everything that comes out of that country is hilarious, and I mean, I will never run out of content. I mean, I'll just keep reacting to this bullshit. You have this guy over here. I mean, he got me like furious. You know, I mean, I don't know who that person is. I mean, he's just completely insane, talking about he's not interested in the victim's name, these quote unquote victims. Now, why is it that every time there's an issue, right, in that country, there's always one narrative, and the one narrative that is going on right now is that we need the names of the people who flew, right? This is what he said, right? First of all, we have to address this idea of like victims. We don't know whether they were victims or not. We have allegations, right? And people lie, people manufacture. We don't know the circumstances. We don't know what happened. This person doesn't know either. It's just like it's all speculation at this point. And the narrative is that we need the names of the people. See, people like that, and like I said, this is not to attack him personally. I mean, this is just like the whole, like the majority of people think like this person, Westerners in general. Like they did the same thing with the UK so-called grooming gang. You know, only interested in the people who committed those crimes, right? No question about what happened, how did it happen, who enabled that, who was paying attention, who did his job correctly, who neglected. No question about that. It's just like we want to know. And in this case, this person just want to know like the names of the celebrities. First of all, I'm pretty sure he don't care about the executives, the CEOs. He just want to know, like, I mean, because there's rich people that actually have quite a lot of money and participate in stuff like that, but they're not famous. So he's not interested in, and the majority of the Americans are not interested in those people. And that's why I say this is a selective outrage. I've covered this Epstein situation in my channel, I mean, about a year ago. I watched that documentary. I mean, I end up more confused. I didn't know, like, it was a complete shit show. Now, the only reason I'm doing the reaction is because it gives me a context on something to talk about, because I prefer that format rather than just keep rambling. Now, my point, going back to this idea of like victims. There was this woman on the documentary. It's on my channel. It's called the second episode. You can look it up. It's also on Netflix if you want to watch the whole thing. There was these women. See, she said, that's what she said, her own word, said that she recruited, that's her own words, she recruited between 40 and 60 girls. So here we don't have like a situation of kidnapping, coercion, you know, going with this idea that all of them are victims. First of all, I do have sympathy for people like who suffered from abuse and all that. This is not something that I'm concerned about. Like, it's not whether the crime is serious, whether the people got abused. This is not something. I'm talking about the sickness of the whole society. You know, I'm pausing this video and I'm talking too much because there's too much to address. I mean, I can't make like a fucking 2-minute video. There's too much. The whole thing is sick. Like the whole society. And this is something that I've never heard from these Westerners. They go on these platforms. They go on to these media organizations, these television shows. They write books about it, shit like that. You never hear a criticism. And this is something I've realized, a criticism of the society itself, or the culture, or whatever, how you want to define it. So this is something I've realized when I was doing this red pill. I was sucked into that. And the moment I've realized there's actually just like blaming women, blaming, specific behavior, etc. There was never like what's the word? Introspection, or whatever it's called, like where you actually reflect on the whole situation. You have like a bird eye view and you have a well thought type of analysis, a multi-dimensional analysis, and you look at the whole thing. And then after you do that, you're trying to compare that with other regions, because motherfuckers in America think they live by themselves. They think that's the only fucking place on the planet. Motherfucker, this shit always come from America, and somehow it's the greatest nation on earth. We never heard that, and you might think this is I'm talking about Jeffrey Epstein situation here, but in reality, this is not like it seems like it's a big deal and seems, but it's not. It's really not. It's not something new. It's not something unique. Happened all the time. It happens all the time. There was the Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein, same situation. He was running this whole like modeling agency, whatever. There was another guy. I just watched the documentary about him. He was doing, I can't remember his name. I'll put it on the screen. He was running the same thing that Jeffrey was doing in the Bahamas. Same script, same playbook. Bunch of women, alcohol, drugs, abuse, same thing. So the Jeffrey Epstein is really not like a huge deal. This is just the symptom. This is what that society itself generate. This is what it creates. I mean, and okay, well let's continue. I still want to address something else.
Tom, with the tapes that you guys have, the FBI, the Attorney General, guys, the guy had truckloads of camera equipment and freaking videotape for years.
And see, when they talk about it, it's not just the outrage about like, oh, well, see, there was abuse and we stand up for human rights and we're concerned about the safety. See, they fantasize. You can hear it. I mean, it's very... this is not a personal attack. I mean, a lot of people that I've seen talk about the topic or the subject speak like this. They fantasize about the cameras, the footage. They want to see what's going on. They want to know all the details. There's absolutely no concerns about the safety. See, this is not something that, and that's what I said. It's a selective kind of outrage. It's very selective.
If there is allegedly Bill Clinton or whoever.
See that he had to specify that because that's exactly what I predicted.
Bill Gates in a room with underage people. Can you give?
He had to specify that, dude. I can see you. I can see what you fantasize about.
Plus one. Can one person? And I'm not talking about it for selfish for me. What about the victims of those children, guys? Children, because.
Okay, first of all, we have to. This is another thing. I watched this video previously, but It's just a small segment, and I'm just using him as an example. Like, no personal attack here. Sorry, sir. I don't know who the fuck you are. This idea of children, we have to get rid of, like, we have to, like, change words and the definition of it. Like, dude, you gotta fucking stop with this bullshit about children. Okay? These 18 years old is not a magical age. Okay? Most women in your society are having sex before that age. So you're saying if they're having sex with a random guy from their school is acceptable, but if they're doing the same action with a rich man is somehow abuse. Now I'm not defending anything. I'm just saying this idea, like this so-called, I mean, even do you know, this is something I just learned. I learned a lot of shit. I mean, just from like Googling and shit. Do you know that underage marriage? Because this is a debate with somebody who was saying like Islam was like pedophilia and shit like that. And I heard one argument about one guy talking about the underage marriage in the United States. It's actually legal. There's hundreds of cases between the age of 12 to 14, 15. That's like 100. Well, it's not a lot, but like in the last 10 years, there was about 100 cases. Legal marriage with parental, what they call it, parental acceptance or whatever is the term they use. Between 15, 16, 17 is like literally tens of thousands of cases. Now, I did not verify the data, but I was shocked for somebody claiming that like having, intercourse, before the age of 8. I mean, the whole thing is fucking weird. I mean, when somebody do it, it's acceptable. When it's just like when you say, well, marriage, like if that woman had like sex with her husband at 16, that's like oppression and abuse. But at the same time, she's doing the same thing with random guys that are not going to guarantee safety for her, not guarantee any financial provision, nothing. So the whole thing, I mean, listening to Westerners, this is like what I've realized about the religion. It's like the existence of God and the whether this happened, the historical figures, etc. That's like, I think it's just not important to me. Why I think it's crucial, and the reason the religion was maintained for thousands of years, it gives you these guidelines. And these in the West, they went with this secularism. And secularism is just confusion. It's just a synonym of confusion. It's like, well, there's no guideline, okay? At least when you have religion, it tells you, well, if there was this requirement, you can do that, and this is, yes, sinful or whatever, yeah, well, but at least you have a framework. You operate inside of a framework. But once you disassociate yourself from religion, like you just end up with this, you just end up confused, right? So something that I just learned. In the United States, they have legalized interracial marriage in 1967. 1967. I mean, I knew black people like had it bad in that country, but like they probably legalized gay marriage before they allowed a black man to marry a white woman. And this is something like, and they're like somehow human rights and shit. Like, dude, it's crazy. Like once you look at certain details, like you'll be shocked. I mean, you probably know that, but I have no fucking knowledge about that. So, I mean, let's continue. I'm talking too much. I mean, well, because there's a lot to cover, but even though it's a small segment.
Sex airport, you go to Fort Lauderdale Airport, there's an announcement that's like, remember, be aware of sex trafficking. Like, it's a real problem.
Well, also one thing that is very important, the United States is the capital of human trafficking. Like, no country does it better than you. Like, you guys are so far gone into this trafficking. I mean, even with Ukraine, the Ukraine war, thousands of cases of women getting trafficked, and shipped to the United States. I mean,
and
crazy
all those
stuff.
kids that were there, Tom, those kids that were not only assaulted, they were doing massages, and who knows, maybe just killed and buried somewhere where nobody's gonna know. What about them? They need.
Okay, well, so the guy here's a concern that I don't want to continue this bullshit. Guy is concerned about children. This is the last thing I want to say. Motherfucker, where are these parents? I don't know how this happened. Like, I'm really confused. Like, I'm not trying to be controversial or facetious. I just don't know, like, where are these parents? I mean, this is parental neglect. Your child is gonna travel. Let me show you pictures of I had like some picture here. So this is what they gave you, right? This is the actual picture of what they gave you. They told you we're gonna give you like names and shit. This is an actual photo of the evidence that you got. You're talking about highly functional democracy. This is what you got. All right, look at it. Beautiful, right? This thing about the parents, I have no idea. I mean, your child is going traveling. First of all, they leave the house at 14 years old. Okay. Traveling hundreds of miles, no adult supervision. You don't know where they go. They interact with strangers, go on a helicopter or some private plane, right? Then fly to an island, disappear for days, then they come back. Well, I assume they come back. I can be wrong because I'm not an expert at this topic. I'm just looking at it like, so when they come back, I mean, there's no concern. There's like, you don't ask question. I think the parents of these children are more responsible. I mean, yes, Jeffrey is evil, and all the people associated with this type of activity are, bad people. This is a serious crime. But like, come on, where those people came from? Like, where those so-called children came from? So they don't come back to their houses. So they're living on the street. Like, this is what I say. Like, I listen to you. I just end up more confused. Do they have parents? I mean, even with a single, I mean, half of you don't have both parents. But like, even a single parent, no question asked. That person, that your child disappeared for 3 days, had sex with the most powerful man in the world, champagne, drugs. I mean, allegedly, I don't know what happened. But like, you will assume there's drugs and alcohol and cocaine. So they did all this shit. And then they came back. They don't live on that island, so they live somewhere. So I don't know who is responsible for this shit. Because there was a... Remember this... Do you remember this picture about the Balenciaga ad campaign they were running? I mean, do those children don't have their parents? I mean, the parents are enablers. This is something that you have to keep in mind. I mean, they almost have like 70% of the responsibility. Or you have to come up with a good fucking excuse why the parents should not be blamed and it's only Prince Andrew. Oh, you thought you're gonna click on this video and roast, and talk shit about Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton. I don't care. I know they're fucking sick. These people are sick, and like I told you in the beginning, your entire society is sick. The advertisement industry is sick. The educational system is sick. I mean, I just read they're teaching children at 3 years old. They have like masturbation classes. Please explain to me. I'm telling you, the entire thing is sick. And so this is the picture. I mean, I can go through a lot, but I just this is like almost 20 minutes of talking. I'm tired of talking. This is the reaction. So So when you talk about this highly functioning democracy bullshit, look, this is the reaction of somebody concerned about safety of children, so-called children. Do you think this is a normal reaction? Look, they're fucking smiling. I mean, your entire society is sick. I don't know what to tell you, and I don't have any solution for you, to be honest with you. And first of all, like the entire thing is collapsing. So, but like, look, they're smiling, and this is what they gave you. Read, look at all this evidence we got. Like, it's really fascinating.